Reading is one of the most important skills for students because it helps them understand information from books, articles, and study materials. However, it is not always necessary to read every word slowly. Sometimes students only need to understand the main idea or find specific information quickly. In such situations, two useful reading techniques are used. These techniques are called skimming and scanning. They help readers save time and read more efficiently. Skimming is a reading technique used to understand the general idea or main point of a text, without reading every word carefully. When people skim a text, their eyes move quickly across the page. They focus only on important parts such as the title, headings, subheadings, keywords, and the first and last sentences of paragraphs. These parts usually contain the main ideas of the text. Skimming helps readers quickly understand what a passage or article is about. It is commonly used when students read newspapers, magazines, long chapters, or online articles. Skimming is helpful when someone wants to get A. Today I am going to talk about reading aloud and its three important elements: clarity, speed, and expression. Reading aloud is an important skill in language learning. It helps students improve pronunciation, fluency, and confidence while speaking. When students read aloud, they learn how to pronounce words correctly and understand the meaning of the text more clearly. The first element is clarity. Clarity means pronouncing words clearly so that listeners can understand every word. When we read aloud, we should speak clearly and pronounce each word properly. Clear pronunciation helps the audience understand the message easily. The second element is speed. Speed refers to the pace at which we read. A reader should not read too fast because the listeners may not understand the words clearly. Reading too slowly can also make the audience lose interest. Therefore, it is important to maintain a comfortable and balanced speed while reading aloud. The third element is expression. Expression means showing feelings and emotions through our voice while reading. The reader should change the tone of voice according to the meaning of the text. For example, questions or exclamations should be read with different voice tones to make the reading more interesting. Pauses are also important in reading aloud. A reader should pause at commas, full stops, and other punctuation markers. Theater group rehearsal. Reader's theater is a classroom activity where students perform a story by reading from a script. In this activity, students do not need to memorize the dialogue. Instead, they read the script aloud using proper voice and expression. The main focus of reader's theater is to improve reading skills and make reading more interesting. In a reader's theater group rehearsal, students work together as a team to practice their parts. Each student is given a role from the script. Some students may act as narrators, while others take the roles of different characters in the story. During rehearsal, students practice reading their lines clearly and with good expression. They focus on pronunciation, voice tone, and correct pauses. Practicing together helps students understand how to read their lines naturally and confidently. Group rehearsal also helps students improve their reading fluency. When students practice reading again and again, they become more comfortable with the words and sentences. This improves their ability to read smoothly without hesitation. Another important part of rehearsal is listening to other group members. Students listen carefully to their classmates while practicing. This helps them understand the flow of the story and respond at the right time during the performance. Reader's theater group rehearsal also encourages teamwork and cooperation among students. By practicing together, students support each other and work as a team to make the performance successful. This activity also makes reading enjoyable and interactive. Instead of simply reading silently, students actively participate in the story through voice and expression. Today I am going to talk about self-monitoring and error correction strategies in reading. Self-monitoring is the ability of a reader to check their own understanding while reading a text. When students read, they should pay attention to whether the words and sentences make sense. If they notice any mistake or confusion, they should try to correct it. Self-monitoring helps students become more independent learners. Instead of depending only on teachers, students learn to observe their own reading and understand when something is wrong. One important strategy of self-monitoring is paying attention to pronunciation and meaning while reading. If a reader notices that a word sounds incorrect or the sentence does not make sense, they should stop and think about it. Another strategy is rereading the sentence. When students reread a sentence, they can understand the meaning more clearly and correct their mistakes. Error correction is closely related to self-monitoring. Error correction means identifying mistakes and correcting them while reading. These mistakes may include wrong pronunciation, skipping words, or reading the wrong word. Students can correct these errors by slowing down their reading and focusing on each word carefully. They can also look at punctuation marks and sentence structure to understand the correct meaning. Teachers often encourage students to practice these strategies regularly. By practicing self-monitoring and error correction, students can improve their reading accuracy and comprehension. These strategies help readers become more confident and skilled in reading. They also improve overall language learning and communication skills.